steps. I had an oh shit moment.
Oh!
When I realized it was someone standing in the bushes.
Standing?
Had seen me see that Alex was just standing in the corner, back facing toward me.
What?
I was really freaked out.
What?
Quite
What's good, you got? My name's ReboundLeader. So, if you guys are single and lonely like me, and are up, not doing anything, staying at home, chilling, eating snacks, thinking about why you're still single, then this is for you. We're gonna be reacting to 3 scary true Valentine's Day horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Valentine's Day horror stories? Yup. You think things don't happen on Valentine's Day? Things happen every day. Doesn't matter if it's Valentine's Day or Halloween or Christmas, it don't matter. St. Patty's Day, Buckness is all around us, bro. Christ is the only one that can protect us now in this world.
I've been dating my girlfriend for 3 years now. I'll nickname her Nikki. It started innocently enough that I commented on one of her Instagram stories and we started chatting from there. Eventually I got her number and then Snapchat, and after a week we met in person. We started hanging out right after the holidays in January, and the thought of Valentine's Day was already coming up. It was nice having started talking to a girl around that time so that I wouldn't feel the dread of being alone on that annoying holiday. But as Valentine's Day approached and Nikki and I were a few dates in, she confided in me about a stalker situation she'd been dealing with.
What?
The man's name is Ben, and he's a guy a few years older than Nikki who happened to go to the same commuter college as her, met her in class for a group project, and followed her around campus a few times.
Oh, heck no.
She never involved police or anything, shockingly. Hearing that this guy found out where she lived, sent her a bunch of creepy texts which she ignored. She said she never blocked the number because she wanted to see how far he would go without getting the hints.
Nah, she liked the attention, bro. She liked the attention. It has nothing to do with how far he can go. You don't do that. You never hold someone's number and not call the police to see how far they can go. Call them and tell the police immediately. She liked it. She liked the attention. This is her kink.
When I gauged why she was choosing now to bring this to my attention, she said because he started reaching out to her again, specifically for Valentine's Day.
Nah.
As you can see here, he started ramping up the texting again as Valentine's Day approached.
Crazy.
She continued to just ignore it and let the texts pile up, but he brought it to the next level when he left a box of Russell Stover chocolates on her doorstep. She knew it was from him because he texted her, "I hope you like the gift I left you."
Wow.
This was when she decided to put an end to it, and replied to him a long message which I won't share for her privacy. But in short, she said he needs help, and that she's seeing someone now, so to leave her alone. There are a number of ways to get someone's address this day and age, but she was scared that he got it by following her home one day. I did my best to make sure that she knew I wouldn't let him do anything to her. Well, fast forward maybe a few days, and Nikki sent me a concerning screenshot. It was a screenshot of some text from a fake number, asking if the guy she was seeing was me.
What?
Me as in, he wrote my name. Now I felt involved, and that made me feel moderately uncomfortable.
Bro, look what this girl dragged you in. She's a red flag, bro.
To this point, all I've heard of this guy was that he was a very creepy and overly persistent texter, and potentially followed the girl I'm seeing home to her house.
That's crazy.
And now he's texting her on fake numbers, bringing up my name.
Heck no.
It was reaching the point where Nikki was close to calling the police if this didn't stop. I told her I'd go to the police station with her if he reached out one more time. Fast forward to Valentine's Day. It was on a Friday this year. Nikki and I went out to eat at a nice restaurant that sat on the water. We were at an outside table because the weather was nice. As we ate, we both took notice to a guy sitting on a bench outside of the dining area by the parking lot with a hat conspicuously pulled down his face as if he were hiding.
Oh, wow.
Nikki made a joke, "What if that's Ben?" He laughed, but then he slightly tilted his head in our direction as we were looking at him, and then he quickly looked away, and seconds later he got up and walked away.
That's crazy.
We weren't laughing anymore. Now we actually questioned the chances of that actually being him.
Yep.
But after a few minutes, the conversation shifted to something else, and we enjoyed the rest of our time there. Afterwards, we wanted to keep hanging out. It was Valentine's Day after all, but her parents were home. I had the place to myself, so we went together back to my rental house.
Uh-oh.
We were on the couch, and things were getting a bit more intimate.
Uh-oh.
That's when Nikki pulled away from me and said, "What was that?"
What?
I heard it too. Something from outside in the backyard.
Oh no.
Want me to go check? I
No.
asked. She nodded her head.
No.
I went out to the backyard patio, expecting to hear some animals scurrying off in reaction
Are you
to my
kidding me,
presence.
bro?
I slipped on my slides and walked around the yard.
With no weapon? Nothing? Oh my goodness. You are delulu and have been blinded by love. You didn't even try to grab a weapon. If someone tries to jump you, it's over. You just looked at your girl and said, hey, do you want me to go out there? Yes, please. And you just did it. You didn't even think twice. That's crazy.
Looking around for anything that could have fallen
That's
over.
crazy.
And I found what made the noise.
What?
The entire stack of beach chairs that was leaning on the house had been knocked over.
What?
I don't know how that would happen unless someone or something bumped into them.
Yep.
There wasn't even the slightest breeze that night. I looked around at the bushes that encompassed our yard. And then, as if my brain immediately could spot something out of place,
Oh.
I locked in my vision on something tall in the bushes.
Whoa.
My neck jutted forward as I literally tried to focus in and get a better look at what I was looking at.
What the
I
frick?
stepped forward a few steps. I had an oh shit moment
Oh.
when I realized it was someone standing in the bushes. I'd
Standing?
seen me notice him by this point.
Nah.
I said, "Who is that?" The guy started quickly coming out from the bushes, in a quick enough speed that I took it as a threat, as if he were about to charge at me.
Oh my
I
gosh.
took the chance to get him on the ground when he was still struggling with the bushes and twigs.
Wow.
And I yelled at him to stay down multiple times.
Wow.
I yelled Nikki's name until she came outside.
Oh my
and I said, "Call the
gosh.
police." The guy on the ground struggled and tried to get loose a few times.
It was Ben.
But I more or less had him in a steady hold.
It was Ben.
When Nikki came outside while talking with the police, I asked her if this was the guy. She gasped and said, "Oh my God, yes."
Wow.
It was the Ben guy who had been harassing her.
Wow, that's
What's
crazy.
worse is
Finally.
at that moment, I realized he was wearing the same colored shirt that guy with the cap from earlier at the restaurant was wearing.
Of course.
Police got to the house and put him in cuffs.
Thank God.
He would be charged with trespassing. And taking advantage of the moment, Nikki showed the officers all of the harassing and obsessive messages she'd been receiving from him. Since he was already being arrested, Nikki pressed charges for stalking and harassment.
Thank God.
Which the guy ultimately ended up paying a fine for and getting a misdemeanor. Nikki got an order of protection against him, and now if he ever contacts her again, he'll be arrested again. Ben was the ultimate creep. Thank God he's at least halfway smart enough to not have contacted her again, though.
Yeah, bro. Thank God y'all are safe, man. It's crazy.
This happened 4 years ago. Valentine's Day was coming up. My boyfriend and I had planned a cute dinner, like what most couples do. As we were walking into the restaurant, there's this couple outside, weirdly staring at my boyfriend and I. I slightly shove my boyfriend's arm as we get inside, and he gives out his name to be put in the wait line. The host said it would be a 45-minute wait, and she
What?
said she would text us when our table was ready.
That's crazy.
My boyfriend said let's go to the mini golf across the street.
45
So we're walking
minutes.
back to his car.
You didn't even
The
pre-register.
lady from the couple stood up and held up her hand, introducing
didn't
herself
pre-order.
as Mrs. Gretty. I found it really weird and looked at my boyfriend. The lady still had her hand out. I wasn't trying to be rude, I gave her a shake. The lady went on to explain that her and her husband think we're a great-looking couple, and they're photographers and think we would make great photos, and to follow them to the studio, as she
Nope.
believes the wait time will be long.
No, thank
She
you.
goes on to say that she has no card on her,
No,
but their
thank
place
you.
was a 5-minute drive away, and they could take us there as well.
I'm good.
Red flags are going off.
Yep.
My boyfriend politely declines and lets her know we have things to do.
Thank God.
The look was still one of the most haunting looks ever.
Wow.
She smiled and sat down next to the husband. As we get in the car, I
They
tell my
ain't
boyfriend
together.
how creepy that interaction was.
They ain't
and
together.
how the husband didn't even say a word.
Yep.
As we enter the mini golf place, we were pretty surprised to find it empty. We laughed the situation off, but in reality, I'm still creeped out. As this place is not really huge, you can see the front door on all the levels. So as we're on our 5th round, I hear the entrance bell ring. I turn to look, and my heart sinks.
What?
It's the same lady with her husband.
Bruh.
She seems to look around, and then as we make eye contact, she gives me the creepiest smile.
Oh my god.
I let my boyfriend know, and he turns to look as they're getting their things.
Yo, whose man's is this?
Tell my boyfriend I'm uncomfortable and we should just go wait in the car, as 15 minutes have passed already, so it wouldn't be much longer. He agrees, and we turn around,
Oh.
and they're right behind us,
Bruh.
giving us the widest smiles. Crazy how we both came to this spot, said Mrs. Gretty. This time the husband says, we should face each other, Gretty versus Rod. My boyfriend's heart sank in that moment,
Wow.
as his last name is Rods. We politely declined, not wanting to know how they knew that information.
Yeah, how did you
We
know
said
that?
we have to go.
How do these people know our name? How do they know their names? Like, seriously, remember that video we reacted to like 2-3 days ago? How that girl just knew the other lady's name that worked at the Walmart? How do these people know their names? How, like, do they have like tags on their chest? Like, come on, bro.
Of their smiles faded as we rushed out of there. I told my boyfriend we should just call it a night and go back to his place since it was closer than mine. Plus, my parents wouldn't be home until Sunday morning. He said we would go after dinner and not let some random weird couple ruin the night for us. We waited about 15 minutes in his car, talking about how weird the situation was, as he gets a text from the restaurant saying they're ready for us.
Thank God, let's go.
We eat dinner, and he insists on paying today since it's Valentine's Day, as we usually split the bill. He goes to the bathroom, and as I'm waiting, I thought I saw that lady peeking out from around a corner. I convinced myself it was just in my head.
Bruh.
My boyfriend gets out and is ready to go. Now, to get to his place, you have to take this long road surrounded by trees. As we start the drive, we notice a car following behind.
Oh my gosh.
I let my husband know, and we head into a CVS parking lot. I have to use the restroom, and since it was going to be a drive, we both get out and go. When we come out, we don't see that car that was potentially following us anywhere.
Okay.
So we make our way to his house.
Check the car.
That road I talked about earlier being surrounded by trees?
Yeah.
Well, while we're driving on it, we're like 3 to 5 minutes onto this road. We heard a loud pop, and my boyfriend stopped his car.
What?
His 2 front tires had popped. He put 2 and 2 together and ran to the car and said, "Get out, there's not much more time before they get here." He cut his engine and turned off the lights and locked the door.
Oh!
I was so scared and confused, not knowing what was going on. I told him we should wait in the car. He quickly got me and we ran into the woods. He told me to shush. We were hiding behind some trees and bushes. While we hid, he called the cops and quickly explained where we were at and what was happening.
Your husband is a real one. He is a fast thinker. And the compliment that you gave, like, maybe we should be in the car. Wait, no. Beautiful. Run to the forest. Call the cops. Let's see what happens. Because if you stay inside the vehicle, GG's. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a W husband right here, bro.
The operator asked to stay on the line.
Wife.
The cops would be here in a couple minutes. He said he couldn't stay on the line and hung up.
Yep.
As we stayed laying down, we heard a car engine coming up.
Here we go.
My boyfriend said to lay flat as he did too. We heard the engine to the car stop, and we heard the familiar voice of Mrs. Gretty, if that was even her real name.
Doubt it.
She yelled, "Shit, we took too long." We heard a car door close.
Sounds like Mrs. Diddy. Like, what the heck?
Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4.
And then a car quickly
Mr.
speed
and Mrs.
away.
Diddy.
We stayed down until the cops got there, which was about 2 minutes later. We explained the situation and got told we would be contacted if something came up. I called my sister to come pick us up, and he called the tow truck for his car. 4 years later, nothing has come up on it.
Wow.
We never found out what they wanted or who they were.
They wanted to capture
We're now
you.
married with a crazy story to tell our kids.
Yeah, your kids are scarred for life. What? Heck nah. That's crazy.
During the fall 2018 semester, I was doing some online classes through a pretty prestigious college, but I knew that I would transfer to my hometown 4-year university for the winter semester. I still wanted to make some new friends though, so that I wouldn't feel alone, and maybe along the way it would be nice to meet someone to date, which is what happened. I met this girl through Tinder. She was really cool and we had a lot in common.
Tinder?
Long story short, we started dating and
You started dating from a Tinder? Bro, you don't use Tinder to date. That's a rule. You don't use Tinder to date a woman or a male. Those are for hookups and hookups only. That is a red flag. Come on, bro. And I don't condone hookups at all. That ruins you. Hooking up with random people you met online, that is weird. That is weird as heck. Like, what? How does that prepare you for marriage? Come on, bro.
A lot of fun together. She wasn't from my hometown, and I had noticed that after she came back from Thanksgiving break, the way she behaved and her attitude had changed. She was always on the more sarcastic side, but now it just seemed mean. For example, the playful, flirtatious teasing had become way more aggressive.
Yeah.
There was no physical harm. I I should say that.
Yeah, so basically Delilah, so her feminine side, turned into Jezebel, the evil witch. Like, come
It
on,
was just
bro.
the kind of teasing that
Get outta
shouldn't be
here.
happening in a relationship.
We see what you're
I
doing.
just brushed it off as stress due to finals approaching. She eventually went back home for winter break. We always found ways to stay in touch every day, such as text, Snap, and occasional FaceTime either once or twice a week. Once the winter semester started, I moved into an apartment because the dorms didn't seem that fun, and I had found something nice that was surprisingly cheap.
What?
Literally the night of the first day of classes, we decided to break up.
Wow.
Like I said, she was from a different state, and she was having a lot of trouble being away from home because she missed her family, friends, and pets a lot.
All right.
Besides me and her roommate, who she didn't really get along with, she barely knew anybody in town. She was just such a shy person, and that's not a bad thing, but like I said, she didn't have a lot of friends to surround herself with.
Yeah.
So she just wanted to be by herself all the time. So it was a nice exit out without having to be the one that did the dumping, because that kind of stuff just gives me too much stress and anxiety.
Okay.
A few weeks went by, and each day I felt a little less sad because when I looked back on the relationship, there were a bunch of issues that I had overlooked.
Yeah, it was dry as heck.
It was the week leading up to Valentine's Day, and I was kind of sad because I had some fun things planned that I wanted to surprise my girlfriend with. I decided that maybe for that week, I would reactivate my Tinder account, really to see if I could get a match and possibly hang out with someone on the holidays so I wouldn't be alone because most of my friends had their own boyfriends and girlfriends.
Bruh.
I did about 2 days before the holiday,
That's
and
not
I got
right.
some matches after a few hours of having the app. I chatted with most of them and asked what their Valentine's Day plans were, and not to my surprise, they were all going out to bars. Personally, that lifestyle isn't really my thing, and just
Thank God. So, if that lifestyle is not for you, then turn off the Tinder app, because that is what, bro, it's not even called Tinder, it's called Lust app, sex app. That's what it literally is, bro. Come on, do not be unequally yoked to these people, bro. Don't you know the verse, bro? It's damaging you. Damages your spirit, it damages your soul. You're not using your common sense. You end up in some crazy places. Do not be unequally yoked with these people, bro. Come on, this is ridiculous.
doesn't seem that fun to me. But I always use it as a last resort, and I wasn't that desperate. Yet. I eventually started texting with a girl named Alex, who wasn't into that stuff either. She would rather stay in and watch movies, which is what I would rather be doing too.
Okay, sure.
She even had the same major as one of my best friends, and was taking some of the classes he was taking.
I don't trust it.
But she didn't know if they had classes at the same time since they had just started, and she was trying to figure out everyone's names.
Alright.
The best way to describe Alex is that she had shoulder-length blonde hair, cute glasses, freckles, and bright blue eyes. After texting for about an hour, I got her Snapchat and we moved the conversation there. I asked if she would want to hang out on Valentine's Day, and she was down.
Bruh.
So it was Valentine's Day 2018, which had fallen on the Thursday of the week. Luckily, I didn't have any Friday classes, and Alex said she would skip her Friday morning class so we wouldn't feel pressured to end the night so early. The first part of the night went pretty smooth. We got some McDonald's, saw a movie, and then walked around the downtown area for a while. To spare you the details, we eventually went back to my apartment and had sex, and to be honest, everything went great. She asked if she could spend the night because it was snowing out, and her place was about a 10-minute walk away. So of course I told her she could stay. We eventually fell asleep around 1 a.m.
Oh, heck no.
I'm a pretty light sleeper, especially when there's someone else in the bed with me.
Oh.
Around 3 a.m., Alex woke me up as she was getting out of the bed.
3
But I
a.m.
didn't make her aware that she woke me up.
3 a.m.
It was pretty dark in the room, but I could see that she was walking towards the bathroom. She turned the light on and shut the door so that it wouldn't seep into the bedroom. I was very tired, so I just went back to sleep. I awoke again around 5:30 a.m., and to my surprise, Alex wasn't in the bed next to me.
What?
I turned to see if she was still in the bathroom, but I couldn't see the outline of the light.
Bruh. Where the frick is this girl? Yo, you literally hooked up with a Jezebel. Do not be unequally yoked, bro. Oh my goodness.
So that meant it was turned off. I wasn't in too much of a shock yet.
This is
I was just
crazy.
curious as to where she was. So I sat up and grabbed my phone off my bedside table. I didn't have any text from her saying that she had left, but I was able to see that the clothes she'd been wearing earlier were still on the ground next to mine. So she was still here somewhere. I then heard a creak come from the other side of the bedroom. I could see that Alex was just standing in the corner, back facing toward me.
What?
I was really freaked out.
What?
Quietly called out her name and asked if she was okay. but there was no response.
Oh, it's either that she has turned into a demonic entity or she has like some type of sleeping disorder that she did not tell you. That's crazy, bro.
I turned on the lamp I had on the bedside table. It didn't create too much light, but there was enough.
That's
I
creepy.
got out of bed and walked over to her.
That's creepy.
She was just standing there, not even moving.
Wow.
I was so creeped out.
She has
but I
that
wanted
condition.
to see what was going on.
She has that condition.
I gently placed my hand on her shoulder and said her name again, and there was no response. There were 10 seconds of silence, and right as I was about to say her name one more time, she turned around at an inhuman speed and started screaming like a maniac and hitting me. It wasn't the hardest of hitting, but I'm kind of a skinny guy, so it hurt a bit. The scariest part is there was no emotion on her face at all. I backed up and fell over onto my bed, and she followed me, still screaming and hitting me. After about 30 seconds of this happening, she ran over to her clothes, grabbed them, and ran out of my apartment. I got off the bed and ran to my front door, which was left wide open, and she was gone. I shut it and locked it.
That's crazy.
I then noticed there was a horrible smell coming from the bathroom. The door was shut, and when I opened it, the horrible stench came out.
What the
I
heck?
turned on the light and found the room in a mess. The
What?
shower curtain was ripped off, my medicine bag had been thrown on the ground, and my floor was wet.
This
The worst
demonic
part was
woman.
that she defecated and smeared it on the mirror. I called the police immediately, and
This demonic woman. What did she do?
I turned on the light and found the room in a mess. The shower curtain was ripped off, my medicine bag had been thrown on the ground, and my floor was wet. The
Wow.
worst part was that she defecated and smeared it on the mirror. I called.
She did all the dirtiness.
Is a sickness. It is deviant, and we do not want it.
Yo, I don't think you need to know what the heck she did. I think we all know what he meant by that. This dirty, disgusting, devilish Jezebel.
In a mess. The shower curtain was ripped off, my medicine bag had been thrown on the ground, and my floor was wet. The worst part was that she defecated and smeared it on the mirror.
Defecated.
I called the police immediately, and they sent an officer to my place.
Yo.
They asked if they could see her Tinder and Snapchat profile, but of course, both had been deleted.
Of course.
I only had one picture of her that she sent on Snapchat, and I had screenshotted it because it was a cute looking picture.
Let's
But
see.
She was using a Snapchat filter in the picture.
Of
Sadly, there was not really much police could do except take a report and keep an eye open for her in the area. They advised me to have a friend sleep over later that night in case she would try to break in,
Yeah.
which is what I did. I called one of my best friends, Rob. He was the one who had the same major as Alex. He came over later that night, and I told him
I bet you she's not even in the major. W. Rob, bro. W. Rob.
the whole story. One of the classes she said she was taking, that my friend was also taking as well, was a pretty small class that only met twice a week.
Wow.
I showed Rob the picture I had, and when I asked Rob if he knew her, he said he had never seen her in class.
Of course.
Rob and I watched a movie and fell asleep around 12 a.m. I awoke around 3 a.m. to find someone trying to open the front door from the other side.
Again.
After letting it happen for about a minute, it then stopped. I walked over and looked out the peephole, but nobody was there. Nothing has happened since,
Bro.
but it still really freaks me out.
3 a.m.? 3 a.m., bro. 3 a.m. What the heck is going on at 3 a.m.? Why is all this foolishness happening at 3 a.m.?
Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Bro, like seriously, stay your butt at home when it's 3 a.m. Do not go even near your house. Don't even go outside when it's past 2, because that's when all these weirdos and demons and all these people start activating their foolery. They don't even wait till 3. They start preparing and start activating at 2:30, bro. 1, they're just getting out of bed. Come on, bro. Come on. No, but seriously, Valentine's Day. This is perfect. You know what I'm saying? This proves that you need to be careful the females that you deal with. Feel me? You gotta be careful. Her story, she was a red flag. Why is it that I'm dating you and you're telling me that there's someone else stalking you and you still haven't called the police? That's a red flag. Second video, W husband. This man executed perfectly, just as a husband and wife would. Third story, You stupid. You dummy. Don't go on Tinder. It ain't worth your time. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth your soul. Do not be unequally yoked. The Lord said it best himself. He didn't say this so that he can try to ruin the fun. The Lord said it so that we cannot be in these stupid situations. So listen to what the Lord has to say. Do not be unequally yoked. If you want to find a woman at church. You gotta be careful though. Not all women in church are women of God, obviously. Find them in church, tea gatherings, farmer's market, bookstore, books, library, whatever. But these places that you acting about, like the bar, you ain't gonna find no wife there. You're gonna find a woman for the streets. You're gonna find a Jezebel. Anywho, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. God bless. Bye.
You win. Perfect.